We have to go back. We have to go back. That's my intro for you. You're welcome. Right now, everyone's talking about Breaking Bad, and for good reason. There's a movie, and we're gonna get to that eventually. But this week, we gotta talk about Lost. 15 years ago, one of the greatest primetime television shows of all time turned 15. It premiered 15 years ago. That is mind-boggling to me. In 2004, it was a different time. It's a crazy time. It's like the Wild West of television. ABC took a chance on a show that should not have worked. This is a weird survival story that slowly morphs into a science fiction fantasy. And that was unheard of back in the day. I mean, yeah, you had like Buffy, you had Angel, I guess. You had a few things like that, but for it to start so like realistically and then just go bonkers by the end of it, but bonkers in a good way. Bonkers in a good way. And it was kind of like the first time outside of things like HBO that you had this serialized week-to-week story that if you didn't watch the last week, you were not going to know what's going on. If you missed a week of Lost, you were done skis. You had flashbacks, you had flash forwards, and everyone knew what a flashback was, but no one was using it to kind of tell a story at the same time, like two simultaneous stories that are actually the same story. Man, it's boggling my mind just thinking about it. We gotta talk about the characters. This is a huge, diverse cast. You had Jack, you had Sawyer, you had Kate and John Locke and Walt, because you heard it so much. Walt! And then you had characters like Saeed, who, like back in the like 2004, to have a character like that, not long after America invaded Iraq, and him be like a hero and a good guy, and like it just shows you that these characters, they were meant to be something else. They were all stranded, but they were really just the story and the characters. It's all about like them coming together, them loving each other, them supporting and just learning from each other. I'm a Desmond fan. Charlie? Now we have the music, and I feel like no one talks about the music of this show in 2019. If you're watching in the future, I don't know what the future's like, but Michael Giacchino is a pretty big composer. He's done Rogue One, he does a lot of Marvel movies. He's just kind of this huge name right now. He's a go-to guy. But back in 2004, he had done, I think, like Medal of Honor games, and then this show started in 2004, and The Incredibles came out in 2004, and those are, I think, the two things that kind of launched him. But the music in this show was just so beautiful. It's a piece that like of this lost puzzle that I feel like people forget about, and that's rude, guys. I get it. This show is frustrating to people, especially people who watched it week to week, waited 3 months for it to come back, and then at the end of it all, it just, to some, not to me, not to Michael, I believe, it just like, it just like that. But I think if you go back and you watch it like on a streaming service, on DVD, it really is a show that you should just watch straight through. It doesn't really I don't know, to me it holds up. I'm sure there's things that don't, I'm sure there's special effects that don't, but we still watch Star Wars. The internet was still kind of up and coming at this moment, you didn't have constant analysis of stuff and just guessing where things were gonna go. But Lost kind of, for TV, and I think even for just media, kind of created that in the way that we talk about things, the way that we constantly break down, like, man, what's going to happen in the new Avengers movie? Like, no one was doing that really. And now, because of Lost, because there's so many mysteries and because there's just so much to take in, they were really, people, that's all they talked about. And of course, we can't talk about Lost without talking about J.J. Abrams and Damon Lindelof, and just kind of like where it put them. J.J., relaunched Star Wars and kind of relaunched Star Trek. Is that fair?
I mean, he kind of failed, but...
He failed, but he did. He tried. He did. I think he pretty much helped Mission Impossible come back, I think. I guarantee most people they're like, yeah, Lost is what changed it for me, and Lost is what changed TV for me. Oh, you're still here. Well, if you like videos like this, let us know what else you want to talk about. It could be anything, not anything. Maybe try to keep it to like media related stuff, movies, TV shows, books. That's gonna be, we have to read a whole book, and I don't know if I have time for that. I mean, I will, but we'll do video games. We'll do anything. Not anything like, oh, whatever.